Hello and welcome to Supreme Commander Forged Alliance. We are in the Worldwide People's Championships U1700, and this is week 20. And here we got Tag X. I'm sure maybe you've already seen. He posts all his gameplay videos, like this one, for example, should be up on his channel, X1 on YouTube, where you can see him playing all these games from his point of view. And he's taking on player T. Alex, who is Aeon. T. Alex and the Tempest, the other finalist in U2000, two Aeon players really like to watch. I feel like I watched them really progress through this game. If you watch some of the past Worldwide People's Championships from, like, say, 10 weeks ago, say 2 months, you might find them, and you will see they were not nearly as good as they are today. So, really nice to see that progression. Looks like first land here from Alex. Whole bunch of NGs early on. Nothing too special, but he's taking on, of course, X. Here playing Cybern. He usually plays Seraphim, but this one's playing Cybern, not surprisingly. The latest patch has been so good to Cybern. There's even been poetry about how dominant it is. And actually played a couple of games this weekend, and I saw firsthand just how powerful these new Cybern are. On small maps, but they used to be the weakest, they're now the strongest. Quite brutal, but I think they actually got fixed a little bit. So, 2 successive fixes to Cybern here the last couple of days. Of course, X going for his 9th defense. He's already got the record, the longest streak of 8 defenses in a row here at Worldwide People's Championships. Voodoo's streak, of course, ended at 5 against Crazed, who's had some excellent finals this week. He actually took a direct challenge from Zoc, which is always a ballsy move. Zoc, of course, an excellent player, was first on the ladder. Hopefully people will get to see some of the casts either on Zoc's own channel. You can find his channel, the main channel of this channel's page. And Guile should also be casting some of those finals as well. So as I'm talking here, there's multiple things happening. We've got a raid here. A hunter from X looking for an NG, should be able to take it out. We're also seeing scouts and flares for Alex coming in, looking for blood here, and looks like this hunter is going to get in pretty deep. Although this Aurora saves the engineer, so Alex with good defense. Also, we're going to see a flare from Alex get defended by multiple Manta. And here, a very similar situation, Aurora versus NG. NG's going to try to get a reclaim, won't be able to do it. So early on, advantage for Alex. Alex also going in with a scout. Looks like he wants second air. Second air is always nice on this map. Can't forget about this hunter, however. For Zayfod, he still got troops in the enemy field. An engineer here is going to try to get early mass. Looks like it was spotted by that scout. So Alex playing beautifully here. That's why it's always very important to get a scout in front of your bomber. Always makes sense to go scout first. Comes out quick. Very cheap. And so far, Alex has been playing excellent. So this should make it quite interesting. On another kill. Alex playing like a pro here. See a disparity in the global ratings here, but I think those don't really count for that much given how well Alex is playing. Still, based on that, you would expect X to have an advantage. Oh, don't. Wow. Alex. 4 kills in that bomber. What a beautiful piece of bombing. That's a single bomber. That's all he did. 5 kills actually, and getting more bombs. And it looks like Alex now is going to drop off some engineers on the top island. And how did this hunter go? Yeah, this is the hunter from X. Finally comes out to do some damage. He's going to deny a factory on the bottom. This bomber's still not dead. Where is finally an interception from X? Looks like he wants something like 3rd air. One more bomb perhaps. Oh, 7 kills. That looks like it'll be the end for that bomber, but a beautiful bomber, really putting Alex in control of this game. And just transport. What a ballsy transport here. It looks like Alex is going to get a factory on the top island, and he's going to try to get one on the bottom as well. I think those units should be able to spot the transport. Alex also going into position. Still so much reclaim in the middle. Either player really not going after it. Just a bit surprising. It appears that transport for Alex is going to be successful. Dropping off the NG. So far everything has gone right for Alex, which is very nice to see. I'm going to try not to be biased here against Zayfedex. Nothing against them, I just like to see players improve like Alex has been, and Alex has a huge land spam planned. See how that works out. I'd love to see them get that mass in the middle, either player. Free mass. Looks like the transport survives. Here, 630. You can see the eco is a big advantage for Alex, nearly double. That's really all the rating and taking the side islands. And if he's able to get this factory, he's going to get the advantage of 8 mass extractors. 8 extra mass extractors is just like upgrading 4 of your Tech 1 mass extractors to Tech 2 for much cheaper. Of course, if you also take into account that he's denying those for Zayfedex, it makes it even worse. But we'll see here, Auroras versus Cybern. So at this point in the game, both Aurora and the Cybern, by far the 2 best tanks. You wouldn't expect that based on health, but Aurora the longest range and damage, and of course the Mantis are the quickest with enough micro. They absolutely dominate, especially in small numbers. They dominate against other tanks, but Aurora at range still has the advantage. No love for UEF or Seraphim, of course. Looks like 1 Tech 2 mass extractor here for Zayfedex. More Tech 1 land factory, 3 engineers on power spam. We got 2 engineers on power spam for Alex. This map there's quite a bit of mass, so not surprising we've seen all this power. So in terms of number of mass extractors, probably similar to Fields of Isis, a map like that, where you get a lot of reclaim as well. And here, very nice point defense built by Alex, anticipating groups of units coming in on the right. It looks like this point defense is going to get 4 kills here, unless something happens. Didn't bring a scout. Torrent scouted some walls coming up for Alex. And here we're seeing Zayfedex attacking simultaneously on both sides very wide. So at least, yep, one of these Manti will survive 3 kills for the point defense. On the other side, no point defense, 1 being constructed, but these Manti, 7 Manti are going to do some damage. You're going to see the Auroras trying to kite, but Manti are just a little too quick. Once they get close, of course, they got nearly double the health. And in the middle here, Zayfedex finds himself in a strange situation. He might just get cornered here against all these Auroras. Now he's got all these Manti in support. So Auroras are going to retreat. And another group here of Auroras for Alex need to go up. The ACU for Alex now at Tech 2, making Oblivion turrets. Not the best weapon against Cybern or Tech 1 of any sort. Unless, of course, there's huge groups of them where the splash on that point defense works quite well. Of course, a very good point defense against ACUs. And of course, Tech 2 point defense is always good. And at this point, yeah, this has been a great raid. These need to continue. Although it might be difficult to get past this point defense. If they continue here in the back, they can do some damage. And the sides here completely dominated by Alex. Alex now actually quite similar in terms of eco. I think it's been the upgrading or something along those lines from Zayfedex. I can't see how he's able to stay up. He's got 1200 reclaim. Alex 3000, so Alex much more reclaim here from the side. And more Tech 2 point defenses for Alex. Alex looks like he is a bit ahead. Might be the reclaim that's kind of throwing things off. And here we're going to see the Auroras. Probably about 40 and 50 on 50 numbers. Zayfedex sitting in the middle getting gun. And a point defense creep continues. A very conservative one, which is probably good. This gives a good place for Alex to retreat to. These Auroras, one single group. Quite dangerous. Don't want to really rush in. There's a couple point defenses there you don't want to run into. And here it's gonna, oh, actually some hoplites. Tech to land for Zayfedex. These Auroras do not want to be sandwiched here. They got to continue to retreat. At the same time, Zayfedex does not want to go in here by one. He wants all his forces to come in at the same time. Aurora is now retreating. It looks like quite a few of them are going to die. And you can say that's a successful attack there from Zayfedex, but he does not want to continue. Actually some Tech to flak there as well. Oh, what's the button to get me back to regular view? Oh, that's not it. Oh man, I need to cast more often because I just forget everything. Point defenses. Yeah, this is a very strong position. So much mass invested, about 500 mass for each one of these point defenses in this position. So no way anything can happen to Alex on the bottom. On the top, he's got the Aeon Force. Fairly even with Zephyr. Zephyr X is going to take his gun and try to force these Auroras back. Of course, Aurora is very vulnerable to a gunned ACU. Also some hoplites here. So much better weapons here for Zephyr X against a huge Aurora spam. And we can see perhaps taking a page out of Voodoo's book. And even though Zephyr X has better weapons here, he might be in a bit of trouble given the huge economic advantage for Alex. And Alex actually with his creep now getting close to the battlefield, already denying some mask extractors. Might make it quite dangerous for Zephyr X if he cuts him off from his main base. Meanwhile, hoplites, of course, they can outrange the Aurora. And if you can outrange the Aurora, you've basically neutralized it. You see a lot of kills here, 26 kills for Zephyr X ACU. While the point defense creep continues for Alex. And this first game has been a huge advantage for Alex. I think Alex, has he upgraded at all? I think he's about to go Tech 2 Air, which is nice with Aeon. Always a good idea. I don't see any Tech 2 mask extractors. And here's Zephyr X, 7,000 health. And now the point defense creeps for Alex has got all the way to the battlefield. That's going to cut off all these units and support a Tech 2 engineer here. Perhaps some Tech 2 point defense for Zephyr X unless he runs into the point defense creep of Alex. Zephyr X is now going to rush the Tech 2 point defenses with his ACU, which is never a good idea. Actually, he's going to go in after Alex ACU. Alex in full retreat. Looks like he really made the right move there. Started retreating at the right moment. And he's got a lot of point defense. This is why it's good to have a safe base here for the ACU. And it's very nice that he has a Tech 1 point defense, because all these Tech 2s have such a low fire rate. Now Zephyr X still back at base. He's going to be exposed against the large force of Alex if he chooses to use it. Alex, 9 kills, nearly hasn't really lost too much health. Look, now he's going to be targeted. 12 kills. Actually quite dangerous. Oh, what an overcharge for Alex. I don't know, that might have actually saved him here because there were so many powerful units. And another great overcharge for Alex. He went down to 5,000 health there. I think it was actually much closer there at the end, but he's definitely very safe now. Zephyr X not chasing him with his ACU. And now he's going to take some shots to the face. And Alex very much in control of this unless something unexpected happens, and it doesn't. Tech 2 point defenses against ACU. Zephyr X loses the first game. So of course this map was chosen by Alex. You can see played extremely well with that early bomber. Got early advantage, got the sides, and did a pretty nice PD creep. And takes the lead in this series. So a couple more games coming up. Let's see what happens.
Hello and welcome to Game 2 between Alex and Zephyr X in the U1700 finals. And here, of course, Alex is 1 game up. But of course, second map is going to be chosen and is chosen by Zephyr X. It's chosen Theta 5. Still going Cybern. And not a bad choice of faction for this map. Of course, whoever gets early map control is going to get a huge advantage. Of course, the Manti, quickest Tech 1 tank. Alex going with his Aeon. It's the faction he always plays. Probably the best faction, although if you check the stats currently, they are by far the worst faction. There's only 2 maps in the current ladder rotation where the winning percentage for Aeon is higher than 15. And you can try to guess which maps those are. So that is a bit sad for Aeon, although it could be just a reflection. All the best players aren't really playing it. But overall, it does seem to be a bit underpowered currently. And Cybern actually, together with UEF, are the 2 best factions in terms of those percentages. No early raiding units from Zephyr X. Nice to see an early scout here for Alex, especially against Cybern who can make early gestures with first air. It's nice to get a scout in there, see if something early is coming in. So scout directly in the middle for Alex. A nice move. And of course going to the Hydra, both players going to the Hydra. Looks like a little quicker for Zayfadex. Zayfadex 2 pigeons and then going to the Hydra. While only 1 pigeon for Zayfadex. And I think 1 pigeon is always the best way to go on Theta 5 or the original Theta. So far it's just scouts for Alex, looking for anything that might be coming in from the edges. Aurora and a scout are going to defend this edge. He's just picking up some rocks for early on. Massive land spam planned for Alex. And I actually say Aeon isn't that bad on this map. It's quite flat, so gives Auroras a big advantage. But it'll be really a question how much early map control can Zayfadex would get with his speed. Zayfadex also already has single NG and a big power spam. Usually you don't need to do that unless you go early air because you do have the Hydra. But he's doing it. So it's definitely safe. Also air factory, perhaps 3rd air or 4th air actually for Alex. Perhaps 3rd or 4th for Zayfadex, although Zayfad only 1 engineer here on this land factory spam, which could translate into lower tank numbers. Yeah, it looks like it will be 5th air for Alex, so very heavy land for both players. And really Zayfadex just a little quicker on his expansion here through the bottom. Much more aggressive ACU for Alex. Probably going to try to take the middle. Now we got some aggressive engines to the side for Alex, who's got tanks moving out in all different directions. He's coming in with scouts trying to probe to see what's happening. Might have just seen the ACU. Figuring out where the ACU is a very important thing early on. You'll know where not to send your tanks. Up on top, 3 Auroras here with no scouts. Auroras with no scouts quite less powerful than an Aurora with a scout, given you see the visual range versus gun range. If it can't see it, it won't shoot it, so radar becomes very critical. We did see Alex here get 1 kill with his ACU. And on the other side here, this is not what you want to do. If you're Aeon, the Manta go 3 versus 3 and lose nothing. Just run those Auroras over. Elsewhere, it's the same thing. Yeah, you never want to fall asleep when you're Aeon. That's exactly what happened in 2 different positions. Zayfadex moves in very quick, wins both battles. Here comes some bombers for Alex. We are seeing a gesture actually for Zayfadex. And up on top, total domination for Zayfadex so far. And it doesn't look like there's any counter really. There's a bunch of these tanks way out of position, not really sure what they're doing. They really need it here up top. And here comes a gesture. So far, the map chosen by Zayfadex here, he's doing much better. Alex a bit lost. Might be in quite a bit of trouble. Zayfadex plus a couple Manta are going to attack him. Zayf is going to put his ACU up. Actually, yeah, here this gesture is going to die to interceptor. Nice work from Alex. But this is not an obvious situation between Alex and Zayfadex. Very similar numbers. Zayfad is going to take his Cybern tanks back behind him. He's got some reinforcements. But we got to say this group of Cybern here really turned the game. Nothing here on the top expansion, while a whole bunch of mass extractors for Zayfadex and analogous expansion for Alex. Alex now pushing up with his Auroras, keeping him back. You can see he's got good micro, but here Zayfadex is going to push up. These Auroras need to start kiting as fast as possible. Although here Zayfadex throwing his Cybern Manta up without using his ACU. A victory for Alex. So Alex being extremely cautious. The most important thing for Alex now is to take either this reclaim or all those mass extractors before he falls way behind. You can see this mass production, 13 for Alex, 33 for Zayfadex, and you just can't compete under these circumstances. Also a huge power advantage. So Zayfadex having so much luxury here, so many more mass extractors. He's really got the economy advantage, even though he may have just lost that fight. And Alex here, he's going to get those mass wreckage, try to make up for it. And if that point defense goes up, Be very difficult for Alex. He needs to kill those engineers. He's targeting the Hydra, which is good. Actually, engineers cancel the point defense, so a small victory there for Alex. Up on top, Zayfed getting an upgrade, which is the gun. Don't even need to think about that. That's what Zayfed gets, is guns on his Cyber and ACU. Nice Air Force for Alex. And a good Raider. Very nice. I mean, Alex is playing so solid. I think maybe just a little more experience is going to be perhaps one of the top end players that we have. I think one thing that he doesn't have going for him is that really the lack of number of games that he's played, because he's a fairly new player. So in unusual situations he might struggle, but on the maps that he plays, that he knows, he's quite good. Yeah, him and Tempest has improved even more. Tempest, although, started playing just a little before Alex. So when the... Oh, this is not good. Alex, don't do this. No. Alright, so Alex against the gunned ACU. He needs reinforcements bad. Some nice dodges there from Alex. He's got some Auroras here in support. Another huge force here for Zayfed. He's going to maybe pull it back. Zayfed at 6 kills, Alex at 18. Alex needs to pull back. No reason to lose his Auroras like that. I think he's maybe sensing blood, but there is no blood. It's just Zayfed sucking him in. Zayfed getting some reinforcements back. But he probably doesn't even need them. He's got the gunned ACU, 16 kills. Alex 22, and Alex is about to lose all his Auroras. This is not how you want to play as Aeon. You want to have a little more patience, and you want to have all the tanks that you've built in the battle. You really should have just pushed them back, came back, reclaimed, attacked somewhere else. But here Alex, minute 9, is going to die, tying up this series at 1 apiece. Let's see what happens in the next game. But so far, a very even series. Well played by both players, and of course, got to mention, Zayfed probably already has this video uploaded where you can see all these games from his point of view. Of course, I hope you've seen Zayfed's channel. It is one of the better channels for casts on YouTube of the greatest game in history. Hello and welcome to Heart of FA. This has been Zayfed's go-to map for a long time. He's playing EF on this one. Alex playing as Aeon as always. And Zayfed going to the factory. Alex is going to get right out of the factory, ready to go ahead and reclaim it once it's finished. That's what you got to do on this map. And I can imagine Alex knowing that he's going to play Zayfed in the final, anticipating this game. Probably watched a bunch of Heart of FA replays, because we've seen Heart of FA usually the third map, and here right away Zayfed is going to go ahead and reclaim, which is going to put... and let's see if that engineer, Alex, does not make mistakes. He's going to reclaim the engineer, not let it escape. So far a complete loss for Zayfed. This will be a big hole. And why this is a hole... Alex still full health. Zayfed, or not full health, full eco. A big loss of mass here for Alex. Zayfed is going to start making mask trackers, going to try to make up for it. Alex is going to reclaim it. So far, after a minute 30 seconds, no units for either player. A slight advantage in eco, which will get less and less important as time goes by, because Zayfed can just sit and wait for his mass to recover, while Alex actually now making a torpedo launcher. Zayfed waited, and now he's going to walk away. And if he walks away, that's just wasted mass for Alex. Alex should just probably stop. And he's going to switch to a factory. As soon as... Yeah, that was a good move from Alex. As soon as he saw Zayfed walk away out of his visual, he started a naval factory. And Zayfed, as soon as he walked out of the visual, Alex started a naval factory as well. So far, very much chess match. Iridium Blows, of course, loves this map, and there have been suggestions to make this a map, a separate map for... Oh man, separate division just with this map for Worldwide People's Championships, and may consider it if enough people want it. The one thing I totally forgot to mention is, from now on, the maps that are going to be chosen for the qualifying matches for this tourney are going to be chosen via poll, which we've already set up. But of course, one important thing here, Alex once again finds out where the factories. Zafid is behind, and now all these engineers are going to spread all over the place. One engineer does escape, and it's really whoever gets more engineers out in the field is going to get a huge advantage. And of course, both these U's right now next to each other once again. One engineer versus 2, 3. And of course, now Alex is in a huge advantage. Zafid might be regretting having chosen this map. Of course, Alex is going to now wait to see where Zafid goes with his ACU, while Alex continues to make more and more engineers. And the longer this goes, the worse shape Zafid is going to be. He may not know that this is built. Are we playing a waiting game? Well, it's a winning game for Alex. Zafid was probably hoping that Alex would walk away, but Alex is not going to make that mistake. And really a good victory for Alex here, unless Zafid can pull out something crazy. But so many engineers now out all over the place for Zafid. The factory is going to be started now by Zafid. Sorry, for Alex. You guys know I reversed whatever I just said. Oh no, my factory. So that's a bit of sarcasm for Alex. Of course, now Zafid is probably going to realize that how screwed he is, because that factory has been on for such a long time. Alex is going to help Zafid reclaim his factory, and he's going to share the mass with his. And actually, he's not even going to share. He's just going to reclaim the whole thing. I'm going to speed this up now. But back to the poll, I'll put the link in all the videos for World People's Championships for week 21. There's a number of maps I've chosen, and you just want to order them. And the first 3 maps are going to be used in qualifying matches. So now you can see Zafid is going to go try to find the engineers of Alex. Alex is going to chase him down. Some scouts and mech marines now for Zafid. And this factory here has a bunch of engineers are going to make point defenses. Of course, we can't forget there's also engineer here and up on top. And here's Zafid. I think he realized he found something. Very nice point defense though for Alex. That's going to force Zafid into the water. Very nice point defense. Alex has a very nice base, very secure. Zafid, all of his chances are really at this base. If he can outbuild Alex. Of course, the best move for Alex would be move down and find that base. Zafid once again moves into the point defense. He's going to reclaim it. Zafid does not want Alex to wander off and kill his only base. You see mech marines all over the place for Zafid. But huge power advantage. Of course, now a new base for Alex. And if Alex actually loses this engineer, it could be a big loss for him. Doesn't look like it's going to be spotted in another factory for Alex. Here, minute 7. And I think maybe that scout just saw something, and it will be a significant loss now for Alex. Alex torpedo launchers. I get into Hydro. Let's check out his eco. Really plenty of power, but mass stalling, which is surprising given how much reclaim there is in this map. Zafid, very low on health, walking across. And now an Aurora. That's going to put an end to that mech marine. So I hope as many people as possible vote for maps so that it's really a group participation for all the people watching these videos. It's hopefully people choose the maps they want to see. And a nice point defense. Zafid here nearly dying. 700. And of course, if people have any kind of suggestions for any of these tourneys or any of these videos, please let me know. One thing about the 2v2 tourney, I really wanted to get that going. I think there were some people wanting to play. I just didn't have time to take care of that tourney. So if people want to keep playing, they can go ahead. But so many players, so much to take care of. I'll just focus on these 4 divisions. But if somebody wants to go ahead and take care of it, they can go for it. Of course, now another advantage now for Aeon here with Alex having the Auroras. They can go across the pond and go anywhere much faster. The middle is now taken. Sonar. Torpedo launcher for Alex, mini mass extractors in the middle. Zafid now once again lamenting his map choice, and of course, assuming he loses this, he's going to be 1 game away from
losing his 8-game defense streak. Although he's not doing too bad. He's got 3 bases. He's got Tech 2. Oh, and he's got the Riptide. When I played UEF for a while, this was my favorite map, favorite unit. Definitely wasn't my favorite map. Those Riptides are so deadly, especially with a little micro. Point defense is now going up for Zayfed X, and if Alex makes a mistake, oh, what a... Alex with his bombers has just been excellent lately. Tech to point defense creep now for Zayfed X, so Alex might be feeling like he's in control, but he's got to be careful. Very quick tech up here for Zayfed X. Alex still going to have a lot more eco, but with a Tech 2 point defense creeps and a couple of mistakes from Alex X, he could be very much back in the game. One thing that Zayfed seems to be doing much better, nearly 10,000 reclaimed. Alex actually 10,000 as well. Sorry, Zayfed X 6,400, so about 3,000 advantage for Alex. And now Zayfed X getting hit by torpedoes. Oh, nearly dies, 400 health. Tech 2 torpedo launcher for Alex. Alex Tech 2 engineer. Zayfed X is now getting chased. And air for Alex, something that Zayfed X hasn't had an entire game. He's going to get a point defense, try to defend, and well played by Alex. He takes the lead in the series on the map chosen by Zayfed X. And of course, now Alex gets to choose the next map. Can he choose a map where he can put Zayfed X out of his misery? Really looking forward to see what Zayfed X has in his cast at this point. I'm sure it was something very nice. Hello and welcome to Game 4. Zayfed X here in a do-or-die situation. If he loses this one, he's going to lose his U1700 championships, which he's had for so long. Alex winning an unlikely match against him on Hard FFA. Still staying with Aeon here, 4th straight game. Zayfed X, of course, with Cybern. Both players going first land. Good luck, have fun from Zayfed X. And of course, here on this map with a close hydro, a lot of different builds. Nice to see. Don't want to neglect that first PGen. A lot of people go straight for the hydro. They can do much better things if you get one PGen first. Much safer. Of course, Pyramid, usually a 4v4 map. Huge amounts of mask structures, very spread out. A lot of reclaim. I anticipate players going massive land spams, massive everything, massive ecos. We'll see how it plays out. Zayfed X looks like he went first hydro. And now he's going to get a PGen. One engineer on power right away, which is a good idea, given all that mass. It looks like second air from Alex. Anticipate a scout here from Alex shortly. PGens for Alex ACU. And here on the map, so big, probably useful to move out your ACU, but if you want to play safe, you can just keep it back at base. Uses 2 engineers because there's just so much map control. Early air though. Tech to air for Aeon, definitely an advantage for Alex. Alex going first bomber, no scout, so I guessed wrong. And a gesture for Zayfed X. Gesture is so expensive early on. And it appears it's going to be massive land spam from 3 different positions. Scout out, now bomber. Couple hunters looking for early expanding engineers. Let's see how much. Actually, this map is so big, perhaps going first bomber was the right idea because the scout was built after, but still beat the bomber. Any of these engineers would be great targets. And here's a gesture. That's definitely not a good anti-air, although it can do a little bit of anti-air. Multiple scouts for Zayfed X. He needs to get interceptor out as soon as possible. And once again, Alex shows he's a great bomber. And let's see what these hunters can do. These engineers are not protected. And up on top. This hunter no kills yet, but in a position to get some. Here on the bottom of these engineers going to get some reclaim. Nope. Still only 1 kill for Zayfed X for Alex bomber. Hunter here for Zayfed X. Doing great work on the other side. Another hunter. So those 2 early hunters for Zayfed X. 3 engineers. Much more effective than that bomber. Although the bomber is still up in the air, somewhere off map. Plenty of interceptors for Zayfedek to make sure it doesn't do any more damage. And now here comes the Jester. Slow moving, but once he gets here, will be quite dangerous, although multiple interceptors should make short work. 3 kills at the end for Alex Bomber. So early raids, very even. Bomber with 3 kills, 2 hunters with 3 kills. And I don't think that Jester really did much. Not for what Zayfedek paid for it. That may have been quite a big mistake, especially when Zayfedek saw how much early air Alex had with those bombers. He had to anticipate interceptors. Perhaps using that Jester to deny expanding engineers would have been better. But of course, it's all much easier when we can see the whole map. And this, let's see if Alex can actually keep up here with his eco. Looks like he can, but he's making so many factories. One thing about making factories, you got to remember, they do cost a lot of power and mass to fabricate. So one of the most important things to do when you're making them is to stop making them once you stall. The very first thing to do when you stall, stop production of factories. And that goes for either air or power. So, and where they're not, you're stalling for mass or power. Air or power, two different things in this game. Another Jester here for Zayfedek, pretty massive. Air, 3 engineers, and then land factories found another one here. Total of 4. Some Tech 2 mass extractors already for Zayfedek, and this is one of the cases when you have so much eco, you really have to put a little bit of your eco into your mass extractors, given that it takes so long to actually get a fight going. Such a huge map, it takes by the time that the enemy walks across, you can get a better eco and make as many units. So travel time becomes critical. And I think this is where Aeon is very big disadvantage at Tech 1. So where Aeon needs to go absolutely fast Tech to air, get gunships and start dominating, then use Auroras for defense. Looks like we're going to see something quite different from Alex. He's expanding in all directions with his Auroras, but his engineers have kind of stopped expanding past this point. There's one going here, one up here, but he really needs to go ahead and grab the map. We're seeing a little more brave engineers for Zayfedek. Actually, it looks like they will be taken out. Perhaps you'll see a big air fight. Another Jester on the move for Zayfedek. It's been one of his favorite units throughout the games that we've seen. Alex comes in, gets first shots in this air fight. He might actually win air here, which will mean this Jester is going to die. Actually, good move there from Alex. And all this Tech 1 land is taking over the middle. But of course, taking over the middle with the tanks is one thing, but getting your engineers there is quite different. More air factories for Alex. And looks like Tech 2 with ACU here. I disagree with this move from Alex. No reason to get Tech 2 with ACU when you can get Tech 2 with air. Get a couple Tech 2 engines, get that Tech to power. Although there is already Tech to power for Alex. Alex now preparing for a massive fight in the middle. He's got numbers. Although we're now seeing Tech 2 land, some Tech 2 flak. And imagine this Tech 2 flak is going to get a lot of kills. Jester's going to pull back to the flak, and the flak is going to do the killing. And the flak did the killing there. 5 kills for one, 4 for the other. And that's how easy it is to win air back when you got Tech 2 land. In case people haven't read, put up a little short instructional, I guess, article explaining all the different anti-air that we have in this game. You can check that out on the Worldwide People's Championship website. If I have time, I'll make up other things, but it's actually quite difficult to make those types of tutorials, to make them focused enough and not make them last for very long. So far, we're just seeing Tech 2 ACU and a whole bunch of Tech 1 factories for Alex, which is, I think, is going to be seen here in this battle. Map control for Alex, but he needs more expanding engineers. And right here, we've got a push. plus some gestures. These Auroras need to kite, they can retreat. And we're seeing nearly a Tech 3 land factory for Zayfedex. He's decided to skip all the techs given how much mass he's got. It's actually only about 63 pretty much mass stalling here. Alex has a little more mass. Very similar reclaims. A little more power for Alex. But it's going to be an imminent victory here at Tech 1. Aurora is in full retreat. More air now coming in for Alex. Trying to take care of this. Of course, these Tech 2 flags, 7 kills, 6 kills, have been absolutely great. And a bit of a Tech 2 point defense is here for Zayfedex. Zayfedex content to give map control to Alex. Alex needs to go ahead and take it and make it work for him. Although now in the middle here could be trouble for Alex. Got the massive Tech 1 force. Alex once again looking to move in. Zayfedex splits his forces into 2. One going to the middle, one going to the bottom. And another massive Aurora force for Alex. That's one thing Alex could work on, is where his factories put the units. They really need to put it a little closer to where the battlefield is, because when he's doing something else, they just bunch up. And this is one thing that we saw in some of his other previous games in this best of 5. A lot of idle tanks. You gotta make that factory move a little better. Alex now making more Tech 2 power. He's actually going to go Tech 3 air. He's going to skip Tech 2. Very strange to skip Tech 2 air as Aeon. Nobody's ever been here in the bottom corner of this map. Alex has expanded to the top, which is nice. And we just saw a big sandwich there with his Auroras getting absolutely demolished. And here comes Tech 3 land. Bricks now on the field. And I imagine once bricks starts hitting Auroras, those bricks are going to get massive amounts of kills. Also Tech 3 engineer. Zayfedex still at Tech 1. That's one big difference between these two players. Tech 1 ACU versus Tech 2 ACU. We need more build capacity here on that factory. One thing to do, take all these close factories, stop making Auroras with them, make engineers. There's plenty of factories making Auroras elsewhere. And we're just now seeing massive swarms of Tech 1. But those bricks now, I almost think that perhaps bricks is an overkill. And actually, surprised Zayfedex isn't really using them. Much faster units. That was a scout there from Alex, so he definitely knows there's Tech 3 land now. Much faster loyalists, and given that there's not even been a sign of Tech 2 from Alex, the loyalists would be really nice. Of course, he might be anticipating Harbies from Alex, but Alex is not going to even, seems like, attempt to do that. One thing that's very strange about Alex's base is the lack of engineers. He's got a couple wandering around, but he needs a big engineer spam. Engineer spam to get a Tech 3 land factory and his Tech 3 air factory. Otherwise, it's just way too slow. Given the amount of eco he has, he needs more. Although he is mass stalling a little bit. And perhaps no reason to spend 17 mass, which is nearly 20% of his eco there on Tech 2 power, where he already has 1,000 excess power. But Alex, of course, is known for making too much power in the past. It was Tech 1, now he's up to Tech 2. Making too much of that, but this is nice. Now he's getting more engineers in this air factory, and once he gets Tech 3, of course, this Tech 2 power generator will be justified. Of course, one thing to consider if you go on Tech 3 air is resource allocation, especially as Aeon. Elsewhere, we're seeing Jesters and a very disorganized Aeon contingent there. On the bottom, once again, we're going to see murder. Aurora's being sandwiched. And please, somebody sending an engineer here. Finally, an engineer here from Zayfedex. Free mass. And no transports so far from either player. Transports on a map this big are absolutely crucial. You do take a little bit of micro, but it pays off so much. And here, interceptors from Alex are going to take care of the Jesters. Maybe not, actually. Plenty of air for Zayfedex. Zayfed taking air control from Alex, which is inexcusable, and restores for Alex. And don't tell me Alex is getting Tech 3 ACU, given that he's already got Tech 3 Engineer. Something that does not make sense. And those little eco mistakes that Alex has made is, I think, allowed Zayfed to get the better economy. Actually, Zayfed also going for Tech 3 Air and Tech 3 ACU. And starting a Spider. Well, I think Zayfed really, he can't possibly afford that. It's trying to build way too many things at once. So both players overextending their economy. And now push on the right side from Zayfed. A very strong response from Alex. Is going to take his entire force. Perhaps Control Z. And of course Alex saying that he did see the Spider. But it doesn't actually look like Zayfed is putting anything into that Spider except the Tech 1 Engineer. So he's just trying to get Alex to think there's a Spider. And Alex definitely thinks there's a Spider. And now Bricks in the field finally made it. No kills yet. See all those Auroras escaping. On this side of point defense, the Engineer trying to get a factory. This is all very weak here up on top from Alex. A couple point defenses, but looks like it will be lost soon. Meanwhile, Zayfed taking over the bottom. And of course, now these Bricks together with these Manta are going to put a lot of pressure. But of course, Restorers could make things quite interesting for Zayfed. Except, of course, that there are Tech 2 flak in these forces. Actually, I don't see any Tech 2 flak here, which could be bad. So Restorers targeting the Bricks could be very nice mass chunks for Alex. Although we did see beginnings of Tech 3 air factories halfway through for Zayfed. He's also almost got Tech 3 power. And now push. There is some Tech 2 flag here, and it looks like Zayfed is going to retreat. Meanwhile, his point defense is going to get some kills, but it won't make it against the Bricks. They'll put in a great fight, 10 kills. That's what walls will do for you. Just no hope. Zayfed beginning to take over map control. So far, Zayfed 20,000 reclaimed. Alex only 14,000. 6,000 extra mass. In terms of tanks, that's what is that? 50 mass per tank. Whatever that is. It's a big number. It's really much more harder to do math in your head when you're watching a game trying to talk. But basically 6,000 divided by 50, what is that, 200? No, that's not 200. Shouldn't even try. But anyway, I'll figure that out later. But here we're going to see a massive fight, plus Restorers. Bricks versus Restorers. So 120 tanks. Alright. Let's see, more Bricks. It's definitely more than 120 tanks in here, but each one of these Bricks is about 1,000 mass. It'd be nice to see the Restorers actually target the Bricks. And elsewhere, I'm surprised this force walked away. He could just walk into Alex's base, put him out of his misery. And we're now seeing ASF from Zayfed. It's going to make life very difficult for those Restorers. And it looks like the Bricks are going to be targeted. But looking at the eco, more than double for Zayfed. I think that's a reflection of upgrades. There's so much power for Alex. He's wasting 6,000 power. If you make that much power, might as well make a nuke or something. I don't know. Scouts for Zayfed. So far, their store's been doing pretty good, but imagine once there's enough ASF for Alex to come in, clean up their stores, it's going to swing the battle in the other direction. And a big traffic jam, a couple nice bombs there would solve that issue. So far, the Restore has been playing quite well. Nice to see Alex using that unit. And okay, so Donut for Alex. Alex playing absolutely crazy now. Here comes the Air Force for Alex. The Restores are retreating to a different position. Imagine all these bricks. 39 kills, 24 kills, 14, 17. It's going to be an absolute murder there. Here, ASF versus Restores. The Restores are going to fall. On the other side, it's just absolute massacre. It's human rights violations here. It's like civilians versus military. Restores trying to defend their base, but air control has now been lost by Alex, which means this donut is a bad idea. Very disappointing that Alex did not make massive Tech 2 air and Tech 3 land. That's really the two things for Cybern, for Aeon, which are so powerful. Eventually Tech 3 air is nice, but with even a couple of swift ones, I think you could have kept air control for much longer. And the Tech 2 gunships take map control. But really overall for both players, the fact that Zafad X took many more mass extractors compared to Alex, and also put quite a bit of his eco into making more mass extractors, put him in a much better position. Also, let's see here, Alex, how many Tech 2 mass extractors he's got. He's got quite a few. He's got 11. Imagine Zafad X, he's got 14. So not a huge advantage, but an advantage nonetheless. Still, we're seeing a huge mass disparity. That's just the Tech 1 mass extractors Zafad X has. Alex doesn't. See the Tech 1s all over the place, 24 of them. While Alex on 8. So 16 times 2, that's the 32 extra mass. And now we're seeing the Auroras. I imagine that Alex in this game made over 1,000 Auroras, and now most of them are dead. Alex is back to his base, and even if he finishes his donut, which will take a very long time, on 81 mass, I imagine it wouldn't be able to win the game. Although, with this many ASF, it probably would be, but I imagine that Zafad X would be able to scout it and probably already knows that it's there. He'll certainly know when his ground troops come in and find out. Here, let's see these bricks. 29 kills, 54, 88 kills. So far, this is the best brick. 38. Some engineers. Finally, first transport of the game. Some engineers. Gonna fly over some Tech to flak and crash. Not a very good game for transports, this one. Alex is gonna have his spaceship found out. And it is gonna be killed. And Zafad X here with very nice style. Very obvious on this map, so much reclaim, so many mass structures. Very quick Tech 3 land. Allowed him to sit back, relax, and then come in with bricks, run everything over. There goes Alex. Actually, no, that was not Alex, that was the donut. Alex is still nearly alive. Some Tech 2 gunships. Just a little late. 11 kills in that Tech 2 flak. 87 kill brick. 101. Total disaster for Alex. Let's see. The next map is going to be chosen by Zafad X. Let's see if he can win the 5th game to take the series. Hello and welcome to Game 5 between Zafad X and Alex. Of course, it's now tied at 2 apiece. Whoever wins this one gets the U1700 title. Zafad X going to 1 PGen Land Factory. Of course, second game of this series, which Zafad X won was the 2v2 version of Theta Passage 5. And T. Alex here, first time we've seen him not play Aeon, and he says that he sucks at Cybern. I actually had to play Aeon versus Cybern on this map this weekend. I did lose in a situation where I did not expect to lose. I thought I had a beat, but those Cybern attacks are so fast and you can no longer dodge them because their shots, their turrets are faster now. But I think that was a little bit nerfed. So it was obvious to Alex that in order to have any chance, he had to switch to Cybern, faction he usually doesn't play. And another thing I guess that was changed is that Cybern ACU also has a little bit of regen, which I guess I can't see right now. No, it's plus 18 right there. So plus 18 regen stock, which is nearly double what the typical regen is for other ACUs. And that's to make up for the lowest health. So that does make the strategy, or I guess tactics for a Cybern ACU slightly different than for other ACUs. Something that was very nice explained in poem form by Zlo. There was a nice set of poems written last week about this game. Quite a few of them about really the tactics and the strategy of this. And here we see a hunter on hunter battle. And whoever says this is not a micro-intensive game, they're confused. That was a victory there for Alex. He has successfully defended his Engie. So one big difference, of course, once again, 2 pigeons than Hydro. And 1 pigeon to the Hydro for Zayfed-X. Zayfed-X, this looks like he knows a pretty good build. This looks like a build from Voodoo that he used with the EF, but now he's using the Cybern. And now Mantis moving in, 2 hunters versus, this is not the battle that you want if you're Alex. The Mantis are very good against hunters, even before the buff to their turret speed. Now this Mantis is going to move in, it's already got 3 kills. And Mantis for Alex as well. And if this Mantis can take out this Engie, it'll be a big loss. And looks like Zayfed-X is not paying attention, and given that Alex had a little more health, that's as little micro as he can possibly have. Alex wins that one. Alex also moving into the middle. He's going to get this free mass, about 1,000, actually over 1,000 mass here. If you get both sides of the theta. And so far we're seeing 4th and the 5th land planned for Alex. We're seeing 4th land almost finished for Zayfed-X. Zayfed-X also moving to the ACU. So what we've seen so far in terms of the ACU, a little quicker to the Hydro and a longer stay for Zayfed-X at the Hydro. Meanwhile, Alex sort of ran past the Hydro and now went to the mass. And in the middle here, it's going to be a victory for Zayfed-X, it seems. You can see Zayfed-X a lot more familiar with what to do with the Manti. And I believe, who said, maybe it was Zlo who said, whoever takes the top on Theta is going to win. It's always a question where you're going to expand to and where you're going to defend more, top or bottom. And so far it looks like neither player has the top, although it might be a better position for Zayfed-X. Alex very aggressive. He might lose a couple of units here. And here, a very exposed engineer for Alex. He needs some units. And once again, Alex making the mistake. He's got a bunch of units sitting back at base, not participating. One difference you can see. Actually, Zayfed-X also suffering from that problem. But at least it looks like he pays more attention to move them up. Alex always has groups of units just sitting back, doing nothing. And now it's going to be a big loss for Alex here on the bottom. He's going to lose a bunch of mass extractors. Really inexcusable. All those units, at least a couple of them should have been here. Engineers lost. A couple of mass extractors are going to be lost as well. Alex, in terms of reclaim, 1,100. 500 for Zayfed-X. So Alex, the significant advantage, faster ACU to the mid. But now it appears the top may be taken. But Zayfed and Alex here are forced to respond. He also needs to get an engineer here on the bottom to fix the problem. And the top looks like it will be taken by Zayfed-X. Alex trying to recover, good placement on the radar. But Zayfed-X with this position is going to cut off this whole left side as well as the top, which can be easily secured with a wall. He'll take some nice counterattacks from Alex. Is now moving through on the bottom. He needs to get an engineer in this position as soon as possible. And if you can deny quite a few units here, it looks like a lot of Manta hitting terrain. See a response from Zayfed. Alex now really needs to get his units more into the game. And now Zayfed has more mass production. He's about to get a lot more. Alex now mass stalling because he just can't compete. 23 versus 17, that's a 3 extra mass extractors. And that's this one. Actually, it should be more than that. I think now that's 4 extra mass extractors. These two and these two. Alex is now trying to rebuild, but of course he lost this force here on the bottom. Looks like he's going to lose these mass extractors again. This is where Alex needs to realize that he can move in sideways. No need to attack the force. Just move up to the top, deny those 3 mass extractors, perhaps grab him himself instead of fighting this battle. Zayfed does not mind. He's got more eco. More line factories coming up for Alex. Looks like Alex has a pretty big power spam. I don't think he really needs that much power. Although, unless he starts using power overcharges, looks like he's got power storage. Minimal power for Zayfed. So he's really not making any more power than he needs to, which means he can maximize his tanks, which is translated into map control. And once again, he's denied these mass extractors. And we're seeing now 5 extra mass extractors for Zayfed. That's the 1, 2, 3, and the 4, 5. Alex now beginning to lose numbers advantage. If he ever had any, you can see he's got 46 Manti. Zayfed 58. More than 10 extra. Alex now maybe in a bit of trouble. And 10 Manti here at 8 minutes, or 15 extra Manti, which probably is a huge advantage. You can have an even fight in the middle and totally dominate something else, which is exactly what we've been seeing. So Zayfed very much in control. I can't believe Alex has not raided. A single Mantis could have denied so much mass. And here actually looks like Alex with a counterattack, but once again makes a mistake. He's going to rush in. He's going to lose his force. He needs to keep his force here to stand off. Make Zayfed come at him. Make Zayfed take the chance. Instead, he's just going to give it away to Zayfed. Now Zayfed knows that he can move in. Some basics of theta play here that are missing for Alex. This is going to be inexcusable. If that point defense is complete, that's probably going to be it for Alex. Now Alex might actually die right here. Zayfed has huge health advantage. Of course, you might not take a risk, given that he must know he's in a huge advantage. Actually, a lot of power now for Zayfed. So I think if Zayfed made more tanks instead of power, not really sure why he's doing that. Maybe he's going to go with air soon. And another thing that Zayfed has done, he hasn't made too many extra land factories. He's just been sitting on his regular 6. Of course, 6 land factories, 4 mass per second to make tanks, minus about 25% for the roll-off, so about 3 mass. You can, at 24 mass that he's producing, actually now it's at 28, you can make a couple more land factories, but instead he's been putting that mass into P-gens. And this is a huge battle now. Zayfed completely in control, big numbers, big health advantage, and if Alex retreats from this reclamation field, it's probably going to be game over, if it's not already. Alex has been playing behind this entire time. And now this is all the mass that's going to belong to Zayfed. Alex retreats 30 kills, Zayfed 12. And this is not terrible. No land force for Alex left. And that's the difference. You can lose a battle when you had nearly even numbers, and at the end, once your force gets much smaller, you're going to lose a lot more.
units, and the other player numbers really count in this one. Zayfed is going to get so much reclaim. And this is likely game over. Alex is now retreated with the ACU, completely gave up the top. He now no longer has the option, which he chose to ignore this entire game, to deny the top. The bottom is also wide open if Zayfed wanted it. Instead, Zayfed is going to go ahead and take another mass extractor. He's going to take the middle, get all that mass. He's got another land factory, Tech 2 land now for Zayfed. Alex getting an upgrade. And it will take major mistakes now for Zayfed. Let's see the reclaim. 3500. Alex 2000 and a big power or mass stall. If you're trying to get that quick upgrade, might as well pause all the land factories. Of course, one thing to note, Zayfed had less land factories this entire game, but had more tanks. So at some point, you want to think in terms of mass and not in terms of land factories. Of course, usually people make the other mistake, having too much mass and not enough factories. It's really that balance. Actually, Tech 2. That was Tech 2 from Alex. I expected gun. Zayfed also with Tech 2, and this is Manta making Tech 2 point defenses. You're going to see a Tech 2 point defense standoff. Zayfed with superior eco should be able to win. One thing that Zayfed could have done easily is raid through the bottom. Here we're now seeing Tech 2 point defense on Tech 2 point defense battle. This is what it looks like, and a lot more stuff here for Zayfed. Actually, an air factory up on top. And a push from Zayfed. Now this is probably going to be the end for Alex. He's got 15 kills on his point defense. And a total disaster. Also some Tech 2 units in the mix. And Alex after 14 minutes. Also Wanger here, actually a Rhino. Alex, a great battle against Zayfed. Played extremely well in these 5 games. But Zayfed has made it 9 in a row. Hopefully people enjoyed it. Now we'll move on to U2000. Hello and welcome to Worldwide People's Championships. We're in the U2000, perhaps the most underplayed division, which is kind of sad. I think more people should play this one. I mean, everybody can play it. And I think maybe the reason people don't is that Atsy's been the champion, has been absolutely dominant. I'm sure if he played more games, he'd be way over 2,000. Maybe not way, but he would be over 2,000. And, I mean, he's now defended 4 in a row after defending 2 in a row. And, yeah, only Napalm has been able to beat him. But in this one, we got Tempest. He's going to challenge him. Tempest, of course, if you watch some of his earlier games, he played quite a few on U1700. It's just a huge improvement. And here we just saw him do a trick that TLO used to do, which is assisting the factory, trying to get as much build capacity out as possible. So even though we just saw this map in the U1700, this is interesting. No PGen, straight to the Hydra, maximizing build capacity from Tempest. Meanwhile, Atsy here, going 1 PGen, then to the Hydro. It looks like an air factory also planned. And the one thing to note, of course, no Cybern. Both these players really love their factions. I think Atsy's played every single game I've seen him as Seraphim. And Tempest, of course, is a Aeon player always, which is great. For Galactic Wars, we need as many Aeon players as we can. I think some of the other factions got quite a few players on their side. We really need a couple good ones. So it looks like second land from Atsy. And a whole bunch of lands from Tempest. Tempest also running past. Looks like I'll try to get the middle, get that mass. Of course, this map was chosen by Tempest, so we should expect him to have some good builds, although this is such a overplayed, not really overplayed, but it's been played so many times. I wouldn't really take it as a choice when you're trying to challenge somebody. You probably want to take something a little more esoteric, something that people don't really know too much. You don't want to take something too crazy that it hasn't been on the ladders, but you want to surprise people. But perhaps Tempest feels like he's pretty strong on this map, and Aeon, of course, in general is better than Seraphim on this map. Tempest not coming in. I try to steal some of this mass. Slow it down a little bit. And up on top, these Thams get the scouts, which makes the Aurora much worse, of course. Don't have the same range, and it's going to be 3-kill Tham. Meanwhile, Tempest trying to steal as much mass as he can. And here's a very important tank here from Atsy on the bottom. And this tank with 3 kills is getting hit by scouts, waiting for this engineer to walk straight into it. Although, looks like it will be finally taken care of. Will it be in time? Just in time, one more shot would have killed that Engie. And Atsy now with some bombers. And more bombers, of course. Bomber is always a good choice against the Aeon. Maybe some interceptors here. Is there going to be a bomb? Oh, if that would have dropped, that would have been absolutely brutal from Atsy. But I think in this situation, you got to get some flak out. Waiting for the interceptor means you're going to take some damage. And where is this? Oh, there's another bomber coming in. 2 kills. Some Auroras are not dying. Let's check out the Tempest here. 822 reclaim. 365 for Atsy. Tempest does have some good numbers in the field. And an interceptor that should be able to take care of the bombers. 2 kills on one of the bombers. 2 kills on the other. Another nice interceptor. Oh, another bomb dropped off. Denies construction of land. And here these Auroras need to move in, need to deny those mass extractors up on top. Tempest moving through the middle. Atsy could be in a bit of trouble if it wasn't for these bombers, but the interceptor is now for Atsy. But Atsy with a hero tank here denying the bottom, absolutely. Might actually deny yet another mass extractor. So even though Tempest may have had the better build here, and has played quite well against this early air pressure, he is losing against the obvious things. Yeah, so some things went very well here for Atsy. And let's see what happens. Actually, Tempest still in a very good position, but a couple obvious things would have really helped him, like reclaiming that engineer right there and grabbing these 4 mass extractors and perhaps going on an assault. A Tempest here could get himself in trouble. This is a nice force from Atsy. And more bombers. Bombing just continues. Although now it might be a little more futile. What's Tempest doing now? Getting a little too close to a point defense. He a little too aggressive there with the AC. He needs to be very careful. Atsy with the 8,000 health. 5,000 health for Tempest. Atsy now taking some shots. Tempest needs to realize he's low on health and retreat. And this is a nice wall that denied a quick access for reinforcements, and now Tempest is in very big trouble. Once again runs into a point defense. So if you're 3,000 health lower than your enemy, you don't chase him into a point defense way deep into his base. I think Tempest actually may have been in a better position here. He already had air control. He was about to get map control. He had much more tanks, but he just gave it away. And Atsy takes the lead. I think a bit unfortunate there for the Tempest, but it's nice to see.
Hello and welcome to Fields of Thunder. This is game 2 between Atsy and the Tempest. This one, of course, chosen by Atsy as the defending champion. And Atsy going as UEF, so I guess I got to take it back. Sometimes Atsy does play as UEF and not Seraphim, but although most games are Seraphim, once again, Tempest going with Aeon, and this map actually a nice choice by Atsy to go against Aeon. This middle here, so many bumps and holes. It makes it a bit difficult for Aeon, and also here, these are hills, so this type of terrain makes it quite difficult. Aeon like flat surfaces. But we'll see what happens. Of course, one thing not to forget, a lot of reclaim on this map. A lot of players haven't played it before. Neglect the reclaim. And the reclaim is it's really all over the place. There is a nice early reclaim get here. The middle is full of reclaim. That's what you're fighting over early on. But the sides are really the two most important positions later on, because very difficult to defend. Of course, in the beginning you have 3 mass extractors, 6 mass. You can run 2 line factories pretty comfortably off that. Hydro, that's close enough that you might consider getting it early, but it looks like ATSI is not going to do that. Just going to go straight to PGen or 5 PGen to land factory. Meanwhile, Tempest doing the quick hydro. Looks like second air. So we're going to see second air versus second land play out in this one. We see an early mech marine from ATSI. He's going to look for expanding engineers. And in terms of expansions, when you look at your initial base, you have 2 mass extractors in the hill, which are pretty secure. 1 extractor, which is also quite secure. So six mass extractors, which you can get in your initial base. But then, when you move out to these 2, and then a third one, which is actually quite difficult to get, together with all this reclaim, these are quite difficult to hold on to. And usually, the middle mass extractors aren't held by anyone, and whoever really holds those, if you let your enemy grab those, you're in big trouble. But there's always rating on these outside 3 mass extractors and analogous 3 mass extractors here. It looks like actually Tempest here might be the victim of the Snoop. 2 damage per shot from the Snoop, 1 damage per shot from a Spirit. Mech Marine is going to get some early kills, but of course 2 Auroras following up to make it very scary for that Mech Marine, which runs away. Needs to keep running. And there's that terrain blocking the Aeon low shots. Here comes Bomber from Tempest. And also a couple of Mech Marines that are lost. Tempest, good awareness. I think that was his early air that allowed it. Kills the engineer with a bomber, didn't get the radar. I was hoping for the splash actually. What the heck, that was a nice double bomb there. And a Tempest, both Tempest and Alex. I love you guys are awesome at bombing. This is now 5 kills. Absolutely brutal by the Tempest with those bombers, and another bomber coming in. And some Auroras here as well. So early on. Oh, I didn't drop off that bomb, probably didn't know it was there. Quite a bit of flak though, now 4 at sea, which means no more flying. He did force quite a bit of flak. Of course, flak costs about 25 mass versus the tank, which is 50. Point defense for ATSI, or at least the beginning of a point defense, and another bomber. Just going to take out an engineer, getting that early mass. That early mass might be supplementing quite a bit of ATSI's eco. And this is a nice move from ATSI. Instead of going to the far mass extractor here, he just wanted to go ahead and get the reclaim. Some Auroras for the Tempest. See if he can push ATSI off the middle. And here, this engineer is going to get himself a nice bit of reclaim. Still under defense from 2 Auroras, and bombers from Tempest just continue. You got to remember that ATSI, a lot of his forces are actually flak and not tanks. But of course, with UEF on this map, you always got to be very careful, especially with the Auroras. That once you kite with them, they actually stop hitting your units. They don't actually get to shoot. Your shots hit terrain. It's quite unfortunate for them. So even though Tempest may have had advantage in terms of tanks, he didn't get to use them. The bomber here for Tempest, nearly dead. Probably doesn't want to fly there. Yeah, if he can take out that engineer, it would be very nice. Still scouting from Tempest. And so far, it just seems like ATSI, just by virtue of having UEF, is going to take the middle. This point defense might be very bad for Tempest. Needs to retreat. This bomber here, still no kills. Just sort of flying around. Oh, he's going to get that engineer. 2 engineers. A couple nice bombs. Tempest now 10 kills. ATSI only 1. And in terms of map control, exactly the same number of mass extractors. I'll know 1 advantage for ATSI. No, actually, exactly the same. But I expect ATSI to take over middle here shortly. And Tech 2 land now, with Tech 2 flag coming out for ATSI. And this is now going to be very interesting. Tempest has lost the middle. Mongoose on the field, and Mongoose on this map. They do shoot a little higher than the other units, and they have the range on the Aurora, which means Tempest really has no weapons against them except the ACU. And now with this tech to flag means that the bombers for Tempest are going to be even less effective. Oh, that bomber there with 3 kills does not want to make that turn. That's, you know, getting an upgrade in the middle of the field. This is just lack of respect, but perhaps he wants Tempest to feel like he can attack here. Meanwhile, these Mongoose are going to do a lot of damage. A bomber against a take 1 point defense in the middle. Actually, Adsy decided not to tempt fate, cancel the upgrade, and retreated. This could be a nice... Oh, that was a nice bomb there. Nice little victory for Tempest. Tempest continues to target the point defenses, but doesn't get to fly more than one time. Some overcharges from Tempest. 3 kills on the point defense. Mongoose versus ACU. So far, Tempest playing this extremely well. But of course, this point defense, 5 kills now. The Aurora's trying to take it out. They do take it out. No, there was an RD there. And Adsy wants to get in an upgrade. Perhaps we'll have to stop it. Maybe some more overcharges. Tempest has to be careful. He's got Tech 1 numbers, but more Mongoose on their way. And once again, Tempest just crazy with his ACU. Here, I'd love to see Tempest move down. He's got numbers advantage. Move a couple Auroras, deny this position. Instead, he's going very direct against Adsy, who is retreating. And maybe this is a good idea. Adsy is in a bit of trouble. But he's got Tech 2 to retreat to, also some Tech 2 point defenses. Tempest needs to deny map control. And then take that map control, turn it into a better eco, get Tech 2 of his own, perhaps Tech 2 air. He's got plenty of engineers here to go ahead and go Tech 2 with something, maybe a little more power. And now Tech 2 point defense nearly complete for Adsy, which will mean a direct assault with Tech 1 is no longer an option. And I'm really glad Adsy, Tempest did this. Tempest is in position to get a couple more mask tractors. He is sending some engineers out in the field. Now Adsy here, really good eco, nearly 5,000 reclaimed. Tempest, only 2,600 eco, which is quite inexcusable. And once again, we're seeing Tempest getting himself in so much trouble. He might actually die here. You see multiple Tech 2 point defenses. And this Tech 2 point defense creep with support from Mongoose has the potential to go ahead all the way into Tempest base unless he gets Tech 2 very fast. And I'm not seeing this Tech 2. Do we see Tech 2 mask extractors? Yes. So many Tech 2 mask extractors for Adsy. Adsy really, his eco is those Tech 2 mask extractors. So it looks like that early reclaim, he's got 2,500 extra reclaim. He turned into a mask extractor, so map control isn't that big a deal for him. 3 Tech 2 mask extractors is just like 6 Tech 1 mask extractors in the field. So it means that Tempest needs to grab these 3 extras to even it out. Or 3 in the middle, which he's about to have. Plus that extra reclaim for Tempest might work out, but eco is one thing. There is a Tech 2 point defense creep moving through the middle. And Tempest is still in this futile Tech 1 land spam. I think it might actually be a good option. Just pause those Tech 1 land factories or maybe make engineers. It goes just straight up Tech 2. Tech 2 flak, obsidians, and of course the mobile missile launcher, which Tempest is making now. And some engineers here to the bottom. Grab all those mask extractors and the reclaim. Another good thing for Tempest may be the gun upgrade, the long-range gun upgrade, or Tech 2 on the ACU. He does have a Tech 2 engineer in the field. Perhaps we're going to see a Tech 2 point defense standoff across the middle. But I would really hate to see Tempest to waste his Auroras. And now we got the gun for Adsy, and the gun on the UEF ACU is something that you never want to see as an Aeon player. 1 shot per kill, 3 kills so far for Adsy. He's going to see a lot more. Tempest now getting an upgrade. And now some Blazes. Blaze is a good unit. I would probably go with Obsidian if Tempest has the mass for it, which I expect him to have, and this is a mistake. 14 kills already for Adsy. And once Tempest loses this force, that will really open up the map for Adsy to do whatever. Instead, this force, instead of moving in against all this firepower, should have been raiding and denying these mass constructors, denying these engineers. So this is good, not really good aggression, it's just a straight up aggression from Tempest, which is not turned into Rex. So Tempest really giving away position. Now we're going to see a counterattack from Adsy. His ACU in a great position, which will probably deny this tech 2-point defense creep, and probably in Tempest losing map control here on the right side. Of course, one thing about Tempest, he's only sitting on one tech 2 mass extractor. I'd be surprised if we see even more. Yep, we see 4 tech 2 mass extractors for Adsy. Adsy now 36 kills. See these Mungo's doing quite well again, and finally this is good. Tempest is going to deny all these free mass once again. Tech 2 engineer, love to see him get a couple more safe tech 2-point defenses. Very dangerous position. And of course these blazes, they're nice, just not too much firepower. Some mobile missile launchers here on the side. I'm actually surprised that Adsy didn't push through the middle. Now we're going to see very even mass income for these two players. See, no, it's still Tech 1. Now a couple of opportunistic engineers for Adsy will be denied. A radar, and Adsy getting now Tech 2. Tech 2 plus gun with the EFACU. And not something that you want to see as Aeon. Tempest, let's see what he's got. He's got Tech 2. He's got Tech 2 and gun. And these 3 Tech 1 mass extractors have been nice for Tempest, together with these, actually now 4. Oh, these are 3. That is making it extremely even in terms of eco. Actually, now there's 5 Tech 1, Tech 2 mass extractors for Adsy, but these right here are quite vulnerable. A couple Tech 1 arties here behind this hill. Something very much possible for Tempest if he chose to do it. It would be huge losses for Adsy. But so far, oh, this is not a good point defense here. That sucks. Yep, that's not good. We're seeing shields for Adsy on Tech 2 point defenses. These mobile shields are very nice. And blazes against Mongoose. You don't want to go too far though, because there's Tech 2 point defenses here. And these are getting a lot of kills. Tempest, please don't do it. So, a long time ago, a Chinese named Sun Tzu said the very first thing you gotta know is when to attack. And this is not the right place or the time to attack for Adsy with this force. And now we got Tempest moving in, playing very dangerously again. He's just loves taking shots to the chest. I mean, it's a great feeling and all, but it's quite dangerous. There's a lot of Tech 2 point defenses here. Total domination by Tempest. Actually here with the Tech 2 ACU instead of Tech 1 Arty, if he doesn't want to do that, come here and build on top of the hill. A Tech 1 point defense will deny that, and then a factory would be really nice. Perhaps the factory is too much, but a Tech 1 point defense for Tech 2 mass extractors, it's a very good deal. Perhaps that's what Tempest is thinking, but at this point it looks like he's just standing behind a hill. And one thing that Tempest has been making this entire game is Auroras. I don't think those are very useful anymore. Instead of Auroras, might as well just make Arty. Most of the firepower in his forces now got to be the blazes. And now a shield for Adsy. Ah, this is such a bad point defense. Where is Tempest going? He's really losing focus here. And Adsy is already mass capped his mass storage capped his tech to mass extractor, so playing very much turtle. And here we're now seeing a push from the Tempest. A lot of blazes. But these tech 2 point defenses now have combined nearly 60 kills. And this is going to be very brutal now for Tempest to do real damage against the weak targets, which are these at this point. You can't really break through here or here because the point defenses, but you can break through here. How about a cruise missile launcher? And if somebody wants to play turtle against you with a quarter of the map, you play the turtle with them and make sure they don't come out, and then you just beat them with superior. I mean, you get so much more mass, especially when you get this much reclaim on a map that has this much reclaim. Playing a turtle in a quarter of the map with no reclaim left should be a losing strategy. And he could easily deny this tech to point defense creep with enough mobile missile launchers, and even if he gets a little bit of an edge, it's not that impressive. And now we're seeing Harvey. So tech 3 land from Tempest. I really like the move with tech 3 land, but I don't like the Harveys. I think in this case, given that there's a shield, you got to get the Absolver, and then you got to get Artie, tech 3 Artie. Yeah, here comes the tech 3 Artie. We do see a couple Harveys in the field, and I predict those will be overcharged by Adsy with the ACU. And this Harvey, oh no, just a very brave unit, extremely brave unit. I'd love to see the Harvey, if it's really brave, get on a transport and drop off here on the back of Adsy's base. That would cause all kinds of problems. Instead, it just takes shots to the face over and over. 19 kills in this point defense. Gets killed by the mobile missile launchers. Nice. And this is just audacity here. Audacity of hope, like Obama said, just in the face of the enemy. Just go ahead and make those mass extractors, assuming he's not going to deny it. Tempest halfway on some upgrade. I'm not really sure what it is. We're seeing tech 2 P-gens for Tempest. Something we haven't really seen for Adsy yet. He's not getting one. This could be a huge advantage for the Tempest. He's making more Harveys. He does have tech 3 Artie. But no. This is going to be an overcharge. Nope. Brave Harveys to get the job done, but they need to know when to quit. It's going to be one of the most tragic overcharges here of this entire game. Nope. Harveys walk away. Gotta say, Adsy is oh yeah, this terrain is saving those Harveys. Tempest is absolutely in control of this game. He's just doing crazy things. He's actually outplayed Adsy in 2 different games. And now this Artie is going to begin firing an Absolver. So if you play an Aeon, you got the best anti-shield unit. The specialized against shields, got nice range. It would deny any kind of things like this against the tech 2. Oh, now we're seeing gunships from Adsy. This is nice. One thing to note, still only 1 tech 2 mass extractor. So a lot less teching for Tempest. Tempest with the shield, with the ACU shield. Extremely expensive upgrade. This is what Tempest likes to do. Likes to take shots to the face, and with the shield he can take a lot more. Now you just deploy those. Already don't yet. Just deploy and put fire on Adsy. Oh man. The gunships are ready. I think those might be the end there for Tempest, although Tempest, huge health. Tech 1 point defenses. Will Tempest run into them? He will run into them. And an overcharge. Oh, that Harvey got saved by terrain. Tempest overcharging point defenses in point blank range. And these just go in now, because these point defenses probably shooting something else. Now 40 kills. 35, 20. Tempest trying to run everything over. Those Harpies are going to die. Oh, I knew that was going to happen eventually. That was a great overcharge from Atsy. Now Tempest is going to try to kill that Tech 2 power. I imagine these gunships are going to come in shortly. There's 5 gunships on the field. Tempest halfway on his shield. Man, Tempest, what the heck are you doing, dude? More Harpies coming in. This already with 3 kills now. Tempest, stop and get some flak. Get some scouting. Oh no. He's basically running everything over, but he's got no anti-air. His strategy actually worked. But these gunships right there with no air or flak means he is gonna die. Although these Harpies have been very impressive. Very impressive. I know. Very powerful ACU here from Mats. He'll take a lot of shots to kill. Harpy still alive with 8 kills. No flak. And gunships actually from Tempest. And he's got a pretty massive air force, but he needs to make swift wins. And here come the gunships from Atsy. And Tempest thinking, what the heck? So Alex made a little what's it called, the banner which says scouting saves lives, and he's absolutely right. And this is where scouting wasn't done. And you can see these gunships trying to steal the draw here at the end, and Atsy goes 2 games up on Tempest. Gotta say, Tempest plays very entertaining, but jeez. Oh man, so many obvious things he could have done, and scouting at the end really what got him. I can't believe he actually ran completely through Atsy. So very well played by both players, and good move there at the end from Atsy with those gunships. And one thing that he did, which really shows a great player, he didn't just send him in one at a time. He waited till he had 5 or 6, assuming that he wouldn't get scouted. So he was betting on that, and then came in at the right moment. Yeah, 1 flak would have saved Tempest there. So hopefully people enjoyed this. Let's go to Game 3. Hello and welcome to Game 3 between Tempest and Atsy. Of course, Atsy has won the previous 2, so 1 more victory means he retains his U2000 title, and that's going to be his 5th defense in a row. Tempest, meanwhile, 2 games where he should have won, I think, if he did some smarter things, but he was a little crazy, and he's going second air here with 7 P-gens and 2 mask extractors. Of course, this map, very interesting map, unlike any other map out there. A lot of water here, a lot of mask extractors in the water, a lot of reclaim here on the beach, some rocks in the middle. And of course, on top, this is 2 levels. There's the lower level with not too much land. This is the starting position, and usually big land battles happen up on top. And often what happens, one player takes the land completely, another player takes a navy completely, and then it becomes an absolute madness. I'm sure some people may have seen that. And it's very difficult to shoot past these. So we'll see what happens. And so far it's going to be second air from both players, and a naval factory not planned. So the very first thing is who gets navy first, because a single submarine can deny naval production. And so far, only Atsy has plans for Navy. Also, Tech 1 RD, which will be interesting. So, no plans for Navy yet for Tempest. And very similar, exact same builds for the ACUs. So far, identical. We can see same mass, same power. One difference is there is a very aggressive artillery here. I'm not really sure where it's going, but it's going. There's a scout here looking for anything that might come in. Some Aurora is also getting built up. And also some tanks with Selines moving to the top for Atsy. And the naval factory has been started by Atsy. He's also working on air and starting some land as well. Looks like Hydra for Tempest, a much quicker Hydra for Tempest. That's one big difference. And some more land factories. Absolutely no Navy yet even planned, and it looks like we're going to see flares. and interceptors. Meanwhile, up on top, we've seen Artie and tanks take positions. Scout has seen that, and Auroras are going to be on the case. Gonna get some free shots. Take out the tank, and this Artie is looking to come in here. If it's allowed to do what it's about to do, it's going to do a lot of damage here. Good use of map from Atsi. If he kills that Hydra, it'll be a huge loss. So Auroras need to get on the case. And a bomber for Atsi. Atsi getting a second nail factor. So at this point, it's going to be very difficult for Tempest to get into the water if he has that in his plans. Looks like the Hydra is being repaired. The Auroras are going to come in and kill it. So Tempest was able to save his Hydra by repairing it. So nice move. Tempest now in the middle. Did he just finish an upgrade? Was I going crazy? No, he was... I think he was just building a mass extractor. He's thinking about some point defenses. And now he's assembling a ghetto. So Tempest with the ghetto, which will be questionable. There is some interceptors and an air factory for Atsi. I think we just saw a bomber get killed. And 2 naval factories for Atsi. The ghetto is now on its way. It's going to kill Raider and mass extractor. Tempest, I think, needs to keep pushing. There's point defenses now for both players. Anti-air defense going up for Atsi. Atsi's going to go after the Hydra. It's going to take out the mass extractors first. Some stationary flak that should be avoided. And looks like just outside the range. Tempest here keeping the Ghetto just outside the range. Able to kill off the Hydra. Is going to move up. Some engineers here working on mass extractors is going to deny those. So total air domination early on by Tempest, but the Navy is now finished, and engineers is going to get a lot of free mass extractors, very secure mass extractors for Atsi, and this submarine is going to deny anything that's going into the water. A lot of Auroras here now for Tempest, and once again, I think both Tempest and Alex have this issue. The move order from the factory is not optimal, although it's been much better for Tempest. And now the Ghetto has been taken out, but not before it dropped off all of the flares. Flares are big veterans. They can do a lot more damage. Now Tempest has now brought his Auroras into the battle. Atsi cancels an upgrade. And there's absolutely no artillery now for Tempest, which means this point defense is going to be absolutely brutal. Very good position now for Atsi. He's going to try to get another point defense up. And artillery would be absolutely essential. Now Tempest is going to reclaim this point defense. It is shooting at the Auroras. Let's see, I have 5 kills already. Now it's shooting at the ACU. And Atsi has retreated. The top has been completely dominated by Tempest with the Ghetto and now with land. Tempest did lose quite a bit of health going past that point defense, which means these point defenses here, 500 mass wasted by Tempest here. They should have been a little more aggressive before building that. But so many mass extractors now for Atsi. I mean, that's, what is this, 7 mass extractors and more coming for Atsi in the water, although he's lost the middle or the top completely, and there's quite a few mass extractors there as well that Tempest is not going to pick up, but artillery is what he needs. And now he's finally making some, putting some artillery up on this hill. He can do something that Atsi did to him, and of course now great point defenses now for Atsi. He just knows he needs to survive long enough to have this huge eco advantage make the difference. We're now seeing tech to air, and tech to air could actually give Tempest a chance to get back Navy if he wants to, or it might give him a chance to take out Atsi. There is some tech to mass extractors, some big investments for Atsi, so losing this top position might be a problem. And if you feel like you're going to get knocked off land, you really got to get something established on this beach. Although there are some hydros, but you got to get some build capacity. And artillery is getting into position. This needs to be no more Auroras, 100% Artie. There is some tech to power. And now gunships. I think gunships are going to do a good job against frigates. Yeah, this is so much more mass here for Atsi, but Tempest is in quite a good position, and this artillery here is going to be great for Tempest. So absolutely no way to predict what's going to happen here. Although this frigate here, 6 kills, killing off those engineers. I guess that's what happens when you lose Navy on this map. It sucks. And Tech 2 now Navy, and once that cruiser gets finished, if it's finished, it might be game over for Tempest, because that's so much anti-air and so much range. This base is gonna disappear. So now Tempest needs to scout and do something about that factory. He needs gunships and just take out that factory. And stop making Auroras, because they're not doing anything. These point defenses, I think that's going to take him out is going to be artillery. Tempest now thinking about perhaps moving in. Or get some Tech 2 transports and get those Auroras and put them under the beach or something. Or just put them in the water. The Auroras on the water would be excellent. That would be a good move for Aeon to deny this factory. You can, because the Auroras don't get shot by torpedoes, it's an obvious thing to do. Take the Auroras on a transport, put them into here, deny the naval production. Kill the frigates with gunships. But I think the plan for Tempest is to make gunships and then go in for a snipe. And that's gonna not work once that cruiser is out. The cruiser is out. And this is where scouting, once again, is the critical thing to do. And I don't understand why this already is missing, but it is. And you can see this cruiser can shoot across the map. We should see some TMD here shortly. That was 2 gunships in 1 shot. And these gunships, no, Tempest, no. That does not work. And I think it was experience that got ATSI here. Because, yeah, this is now not going to work. A point defense is not the right unit. You need TMD. TMD and transports, get Auroras on the water and run everything over. I think that could still be a good move, but time is really running short. More cruisers. There are actually no frigates here. So Auroras would be absolutely devastating. But we're not seeing artillery is the wrong, such an expensive unit, and it's not going to do anything for you. TMD, that's all you need against cruise missiles. Tempest getting upgrades, getting hit while getting an upgrade. I'm actually going to speed this up because it's just painful to watch. 25 kills, 1 kill. And you can say under these circumstances, cruisers are a game ender, and it looks like air is going to be taken now by ATSI. And some gunships are going to come in and finish Tempest off. No anti-air for Tempest. And Tempest, I think, once again, I mean, in this one, it was the least obvious because he didn't have Navy, and such a huge advantage to have Navy on this map. But the other 2 games, I feel like he had a huge advantage in both that he just threw away. And 3-0 for ATSI, even though Tempest played extremely well. Very well played by ATSI. And looking forward to seeing him next week. So hopefully people enjoyed this one.